Tooltip visualizations. What are tooltip visualizations? So as you craft views and look for ways to reveal more details about your data to your audience, you can actually embed some visualizations inside the tooltip. This one is known as Viz-in-Tooltip. Whenever a user hovers on a mark, the tooltip displays relevant data and details from another visualization filter to that onto the mark. If you want to see how the tooltips will look like onto your dashboard, you can see this image. This is like edit tooltip option. It will pop out to add more sheets onto your tooltip. So whatever views you created onto the sheet and you want to add the sheet inside your visualization, you can add that inside your visualization, inside your tooltip. So by hovering on the data, the related viz will come upon the tooltip and it will show the visualization which you have built inside the tooltip. So why do you want a visualization inside a tooltip? You can actually build it on the dashboard directly, right? So one for one, it is like it will completely save your space on your entire dashboard. If you have ever created like a dashboard or a story, then you just realize that you need to fix up all the entire design because you had to need few more dimensions or few more measures. Then you can go with this kind of a scenario. You can add a tooltip visualization. This inside this tooltip will allows you to save some space and keep a clean design by adding supplemental data inside your tooltip. The visits in your dashboards and stories tells the most immediate and important data, while the visits in your tooltips enrich with the supporting data of whatever you're hovering on. So whenever you add tooltip visualizations inside the sheet, like whatever tooltip you're using, the final presentation will look something like this. So if you hover, the current image is showing the category furniture, office supplies and technology. And I just created one more visualization inside my tooltip to show me the region as well. So if I hover on furniture, this will show the region which is only related to the furniture. So this is like a filter option. Whenever you hover on that particular bar, it will filter out the data only related to that particular bar you're hovering on. Then it will display your visualization inside the tooltip. So whatever you created will be completely filtered on whatever you hover on that main visualization. So this one will help you to put more views onto the same page and it will consume more space for you. Some of the tooltip visualization tips are it will be used in small and fewer visualizations, and it will try to avoid maps and complex graphs. Like if you want to build upon some complex graphs or maps, it's better to avoid this tooltip visualizations because this might create some confusion because the tooltips might not sync up with the maps and complex graphs. So whenever you're using tooltip visualizations, make use of the context filters to limit out your data. That means use a context filter to set a particular set of data only for your tooltip visualization. And whenever you're using a tooltip visualization, make sure that you will see that tooltip whenever you hover, and if you will see that tooltip not more than 2 seconds. So that's like also relates to the performance issue because tooltips will hit the performance, and if you're not seeing the tooltips whenever you hover on them, and if it is taking more time, then it is like a performance issue. Tooltips are like excellent canvases to convey data, and this is like even more powerful inside Tableau. You can actually create some great example of vizes and you can show them inside the tooltips on the latest viral infographics and visualizations. So this one will save you not only space, but it will also declutter your entire dashboard, and your dashboard will be great for insight if you want to just hover on particular part and you wanted to show inside only on a particular part. You can do that from this scenario. Okay, let's quickly go to our tool and see how this tooltip visualization will work. Okay, let's go to the tool inside our tool and just quickly put some visualizations to utilize this tooltip visualization. Okay, right now I wanted to create some dashboard where I'm taking the cities onto my rows. I'm particularly dragging them onto my rows because if I just double click on a city, it will go with the map. I do not want to go with the map, so I just drag them onto my rows. I also dragged sales. So what I will do is I will create a map with the tree map. If you see here, I have so many cities and this one is showing me so many boxes. So okay, we will just restrict them to state, then we will see a fewer box. Okay, this one is showing me all the states and it is also showing me the sales. I will also drag sales onto the label, so that one will show you the labels of sales as well. I'm renaming it as state sales. I'm renaming it as state sales. So I will create one more dashboard, drag my sales onto the dashboard. Okay, make this an entire view so that it will fit beautifully inside the space available. So this is our dashboard. Right now what happened? My entire space is occupied with these boxes. Even then I'm seeing some boxes which are not displayed. So this one will not allow me to add any more visualizations because it's already occupied. Even if you just go with the height and width, increase of height and width, that will not allow me to add any more visualizations. It's completely occupied. Then also I'm not able to see any data over there. We just look at here. Okay, we will just go back with our 8 height, 1300 width. So this is how my data is looking like. This is how my visualization is over there. I also wanted to add one more visualization to my dashboard. So what I will do is I will build one more visualization. So right now I wanted to show in that particular whatever state I am building, who are my top customers. Let's go with the customer name and sales. So what I will add is customer name into my top 10 values. Top by field 10 sum of sales. So what I will get is top 10 values of my customers. Okay, I just built one more view saying that these are my top customers. In that particular state, I wanted to show, okay, these are my top customers on that particular, this complete state. So what I have to do now is I have to add this visualization inside my tooltip. So for that, I'm clicking on tooltip over here. So I will just remove this because this is already displayed in my view. So I will go to the sheet and include the visualization which we have built right now. Let's say OK. If you go to the dashboard and hover over here, you're seeing some customer names and you're seeing some top values on the customer names. Just sort the value so that you will see top customers on the top. So if you see here, you are seeing the values according to the state, who are the customers, who are the top customers. But there is one problem over here. If you just see, all the states are not displaying all the customers. If you see here, we are seeing 1 in some case, we are seeing 2 in some case, we are seeing some 5 to 6 in some case. But that's not the value we kept, right? We actually wanted to see all the top 10 customers. We built a tooltip visualization and hovering, we are actually seeing some top customers, but we are not seeing the entire top 10 customers. So what we have to do right now is if you just go to the top customer sheet, you will see this action filter already placed over here, because we just placed this tooltip visualization in some other visualization, which is state of sales, and we just created a hover option over here. So this hover option, what it will do is it will add an action filter like this. So this is a set. If you see here, this one is creating a top 10 value. This is the set. It created a filter over here. What I have to do, I have to add it to the context. Context filter will create the top 10 values for that complete data set. So this, if you hover now, you will be able to see the top 10 customers according to the state. You can see the difference in the names. If you see here, the names were actually changing, and it is showing the top 10 customers according to the state. So previously what happened, we just saw some customers on some states. Why that is? Because we just filtered top 10. So that top 10 is considering your entire data set. On your entire data set, that one is giving you the top 10. So whenever you hover on the other states, whatever you have in that particular top 10, so if that state has that customer, it will show that customer value. But right now what is happening is, because we placed filtered the set value into the action filter, so that one will be considered first. So if you hover on the state California, the data set will be only completely coming from the California dataset. So the first filter will be state California. Then the other filter will pick up the top 10 values and it will relate to the California state and give you top 10 customers according to the California. So that's how you will be able to see the top 10 customers even if you hover on all the other states. If you see here, you can actually see the top 10 customers according to the state. You can see the value difference also coming. So what are the sales they performed? And if you just go to the lower part over here, you will be seeing only a few customers because that doesn't contain the data. That's fine. So this one is how you will be working with the tooltips. And whenever you're working with the tooltips, if something like this happens, just to remember that you have to use context filters to set this problem up. Sorry, to resolve this problem. And also, you can add n number of visualizations to the tooltip. Like if I wanted to also show the other categories, like, okay, let's say category and sales. So build some visualization. Okay, I just went with the bar graph. I'm displaying the labels. So this is one more visualization. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to add this visualization also onto my tooltip. Sheets. Latest sheet, which is sheet 19. Okay, I have to rename that. If you just hover onto this now, you can actually see two visualizations related to that particular state. If you see here, it is showing that particular state and what is the category wise sales according to the particular state. But if you see here, the office supplies value is not coming up because the space allocated to it is not sufficient. So there is an option actually to edit the space whatever it is occupying. If you see here, it is taking the sheet name, which is top. It is taking the width and height, and it is giving the filter all values whatever you hover on, right? So if your sheet is not completely displaying, you can actually increase the width and height of that particular sheet. So what I'm doing, I'm actually increasing that width and height from 300 to 400. So whenever I do this, Tableau will provide some space. So right now it is showing a width and height of 400 and 400. So this one will show you all the values because previously it did not have the enough space. That's why it did not show all the values. Right now also some of the values are not displayed because the width is not sufficient. So by just checking this, we can actually increase the size and width by looking into size and width of the tooltip visualizations. So we can increase the height and width by checking the tooltip visualizations on the hover path. And we can always come back and increase the height and size of this entire box if the values are not showing up well. If you see something like the visualization is too large to show, you can come back and increase the height and width of the visualization like this, because the space is not completely sufficient for the visualization. That's why it will show the view is too large to show. So in this scenario, you just have to come back, increase the size, and if you hover on it, it will completely show you the visualization. And also, if you have multiple fields whenever you hover on, right now we only have state, but if you have multiple fields over here in the visualization and you want to restrict that hover part to one dimension only, you can actually edit this part over here and include that whatever dimension you want to filter your visualization on. You can manually include your whatever dimension you want to filter that, like for example the order date, something like that, the month of the order date, something like that. You can write any of the dimension value over here and just restrict your complete visualization only to that filter. So I will also discuss on some of the tips and notes you have to follow whenever you're configuring this in your tooltips. So you can use worksheets to create a Viz-in-Tooltip, but you cannot use dashboards or stories to create a Viz-in-Tooltip. So users will be able to see Viz inside the tooltips on the web, but you must configure Viz-in-Tooltip in the desktop, Tableau desktop. Then only users will be able to see them on the Tableau server or Tableau online. So a Viz-in-the-Tooltip is like a static image of the target view, not an interactive sheet. So this one cannot have its own Viz inside the tooltip. You will need a source worksheet visualization and a target worksheet visualization to create a Viz-in-Tooltip. You will need to create a target view to make it available in the tooltip editor. Use a standard naming scheme for all the target sheets you plan to add in the tooltips, like such as tooltip, like name of the, using a standard naming scheme whenever you're showing the tooltip inside the visualizations. So whenever you have the tooltip visualizations already built in some sheets, and whenever you're restructuring the main sheet, if you just click on show me in the source sheet and it changes the complete view structure, all the tooltip edits, including your Viz-in-the-Tooltips references, will be reset. You might need to reconfigure the Viz inside the tooltip. And also by default, the Viz inside this tooltips is filtered on all fields. Like we saw, it is filtered on the all fields, which considers all the fields inside the view at the most specific level of detail. This can be done by identifying matching records. You can change the level of detail inside your tooltip by just defining the filter on selected fields. It is like similar to selected fields in the filter actions. Mostly like that, you can actually select some field and say to the tooltip that, okay, you must work on the only this field, like that. And remember, whenever you are using this selected fields inside the tooltip, the data source must be the same data source. It will not work with across different data source. Remember, whatever you fields you're picking upon inside the tooltip must be coming from the same data source. So these are some of the notes or tips you must follow whenever you're using the tooltip visualizations. So this is all about the tooltip visualizations. We will quickly move back to our PPT, and the next topic, the important topic in Tableau, is performance recording.